Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics, live on Channels Television. I am Nwaeke in Abuja. Happy Refuting to all our Muslim brothers and sisters from all over the world and wherever you may be watching us tonight. And I hope that you're having a blast as you are dedicated yourself into the almost 30 days of fasting. But as you are marking the end of the fasting period with prayers, so it was here in Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu and the Vice President Kashim Shettima joined others for prayers at the National Eid ground in Abuja, as Nigerian Muslims marked the Eid al-Fitr celebrations together with millions of others around the globe. Deputy Senate President Barhau Jibrin, the National Security Advisor Nuhu Robadu, and some ministers were also with them to observe the prayer at the same venue. Afterwards, the president returned to the presidential villa after observing the prayers, where he began to receive homage for the festivity. Well, perhaps one of the notable homage visitation is that of the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and some prominent citizens of Abuja. The homage visit was led by Nwaeke, the FCT minister, as delegation and residents to pay Salah homage to the vice president, alongside the vice president, Senator Kashim Shettima, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, and other prominent FCT indigents were also present at the Salah homage. President Tinubu commended Nwaeke for working hard to give Abuja a befitting status as a nation's capital city. But you also mentioned when Nwaeke went to him to plead that the FCT should be removed from the TSA arrangement. Let me allow you to listen to what the president said.
Well, our landlord, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Master of Infrastructure, yes, Nwaeke, thank you very much today. The health centers are being rehabilitated. The health facilities for the residents of FCT and visitors are being upgraded. Our children's schools are being rehabilitated, rebuilt, refurnished. Thank you. Yeah.
As a president, Bola Tinubu. Well, it has been a weekend laden with a lot of stories, allegations and counter-allegations on the protected political umpires in Rivers State. It all began with the immediate past head of service in Rivers State, Dr. George Nwaeke, who resigned his position last Monday. Nwaeke is accusing the suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara of masterminding the demolition of the State House of Assembly complex, among other allegations. He claims he resigned as head of service on Monday because of these developments. Let me allow you to listen to what was a scoop and an exclusive to Channels TV.
I was not sacked. Neither was I pressured to resign. I did so willingly from the depth of my heart. However, as an insider and a key player in the administration, and by my position, who worked closely with the suspended governor, it would be unfair for me to keep mute. It all started with the State House of Assembly, where the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, directed his chief of staff to burn down the assembly in a way to avert the suspected impeachment. That evening, Edison was in Government House with many of his boys, including the former chairman of Obiakpo, one Mr. Chijoke Ihunwo. I was there with them when a bag of money was handed over to Edison for that operation, though I did not actually know what it was meant for or the amount inside. I want to tell Rivers people today, the House Assembly was complex. In Moscow Road was clearly brought down by the do of Edison and some of his cohorts. Under the instruction of the sitting governor then, I challenged them to an open confrontation, and this will make us to throw more light on this. Another attempt was also made to destroy the residential quarters of the House Assembly members, if not for the press conference that was made there by Rivers youths, Rivers elders, and National Assembly members. That would have been another barbaric demolition in Rivers State. I came to realize that they actually wanted to demolish that second building because after some weeks, the governor personally told me, a company of others, that he knew that if he knew early, he would have gone to pull down their hall before visiting the residential quarters of the assembly, and that he didn't actually know what they had, that they had such a beautiful hall where they are using now for sitting.
That's a portion of about 10 minutes long expose or revelation, as you may call it, by Dr. Nwaeke. Well, Dr. Nwaeke's wife, Mrs. Lawrence Nwaeke, had gone to town to claim that her husband is missing and his life is under threat.
He said that to go back the governor, that they have heard that it's his friend. They have heard that it's his friend, though, that he's just trying to cover up. Master says it's not like covering up anything. That he doesn't think that there's anything like that. There's anything like 15 billion naira. That he's not aware. That he's not aware. That he's just the head of service. He doesn't know anything about finance of the state. So when they pressured him to sign that document, he said he will not sign. That instead of him to sign, he will resign. He just resigned and called me in the office. I was in the office when he called me that he has resigned. I said, what happened? He said, till I come back. When I came back, I asked him. He started telling me that they brought a document, that the document is that they found another $15 million, 15 billion naira. 15 billion naira that the governor did not declare. And he told that he doesn't know anything about that one. That what he handed over to them is what the governor handed over to him. And when they pressurized him, he said no, instead of all this wahala, let him leave them. He now wrote his resignation that he's not working again. He cannot come and sign what he does not know. He cannot come and sign what is not true. Where is the 15 billion naira coming from that he would not sign? Instead of signing, let him go. That was how he resigned. So this morning, he told me that his friend, one of his friends from Abuja, I think he said his name is Ogiri. He said it's Ogiri from Abuja. That he has sent him ticket to come and let them discuss. I said, okay, but I have more this Sunday. And today is our dinner. Today being Friday. This is our dinner party. I told him to stay night till Monday. Let us finish this program. He said he should just go and come back. Let him just go and know where he's calling him. That was how he left. When he got to airport, when he got to Abuja, he called that they have landed. I said, thank God. He said he will keep me posted. That was all. The next thing I saw this morning, I had this night, people were calling me. They said they got an interview. I said, what interview? Interview for what? Not until I saw things flying on the internet. That he got an interview. That's what happened. I said, that is not my husband. That is not my husband. I sent him a message. I said, are you under duress? I sent him a message. I said, have they kidnapped you? Talk to me now. Why are you not talking to me? Where's the message I sent to him? Send the message I sent to him. I sent to him message. I sent to him message when I saw this online. Oh, Jesus, help me. Nigeria, help me. My husband is in trouble. 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 Look at the message I sent to him. See the message I sent to him. I said, Daddy, why?
All right. Those were the pains of Mrs. Florence Nwaeke. However, as she was there in Port Harcourt, saying that she doesn't know the whereabouts of her husband and the life of the husband is under threat, and saying all what she knew about the situation. The husband is there in Abuja. Now, according to the husband, he says he's in Abuja and he resigned because he can no longer work under the atmosphere because he thinks that there are a lot of things that he needed to report to the security agency. But he is safe. Well, later on, in a call she put, Mrs. Florence put through to Governor Fubara, claiming that the former, the husband, Dr. Nwaeke, has acted under duress. I was in trouble. and she had not heard from him despite repeated efforts to reach him on the phone. She accused a former commissioner for state in River State, Professor Henry Ogiri, of inviting the husband to Abuja. But of course, Ogiri has denied claims that he has not even spoken to Nwaeke since 2023. But let me allow you to listen to the conversation between Governor Fubara and Mrs. Florence Nwaeke.
No, madam, I don't. I saw something this evening that granted media this thing. I don't. So I'm even surprised that.
It's the trouble. I don't know. It's the first time they have killed him. I don't know if he's alive. Why could I help me? Why could I help me?
All right. Okay. No problem. No. It's okay. You're sure you're not aware of this is action?
I don't know. He told me the morning that his friend. I remember. He said so.
No, you know why I'm asking. You know why I'm asking. At least there's nothing that happens that he doesn't share with you. Where have I offended him, and where will he cook this level of lies against me? Where have I offended you people? After everything I've done for you people.
It's in trouble. It's in trouble.
All right. There you have it. The governor was asking, what did I do to you people? Have I offended you? Why did he say what he said? But Dr. Nwaeke has made some very far-reaching allegations, some of which he says it was a character in the script or in the circumstances or in the incidents that have happened. And he says he can no longer continue, and that's why he went to Abuja to report himself to security agencies. And in his revelation, he mentioned the chief of staff to Governor Fubara, Honorable Edison Ehie, who is a former Speaker of the House of Assembly in River State. He now joins us live from Port Harcourt. Perhaps the first time you'll be hearing from Honorable Edison Ehie since he became the Chief of Staff to Governor Fubara. Let's listen to him. He'll be speaking to us tonight about these allegations, which Edison Ehie's name has consistently been mentioned. Thank you so much, Honorable Ehie, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Shehu, for having me.
Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Yeah, let's begin tonight. I'd like you to be able to explain to Nigerians what really went down and your role in these heavy allegations that have been leveled. But first and foremost, the information that we have is that yourself, Dr. Nwaeke, and Governor Fubara were an item. You were very close. He's very close. He knows the ins and outs in the government house and the runnings of government. Is that true?
Well, Mr. Shehu, thank you for having me, like I earlier mentioned. To respond swiftly to your question, that is not true. George Nwaeke, the former head of service, had no political nor intimate relationship with us, be the governor of Rivers State, elected by Rivers people, as Nala Fubara, nor myself. You know that George Nwaeke was a civil servant, and his responsibilities are clearly applying. As head of service, the closest he gets to the governor is at the executive council meeting. And if he has something that he wants to relate to the governor, which, quote and unquote, relates to civil servant, he needs to seek appointment to the governor and be cleared by the DSS in charge of security in government house. Judge Nwaeke and myself, nor the governor, had never had any meeting jointly or severally at all, not talk of something as far-reaching as political discussion. I'm not a politician. He does not, he heard from his local government, local government area. He does not even partake in critical local government political discussions because he's a career civil servant. appointed by extension of his tenure by the governor to be head of service who was doing contract. So that is totally out of it. He has never been part of us politically. He is a career civil servant. And even when the governor needs to clarify issues or discuss things with him that has to do with civil servants, it is based on appointment. So at what point are we going to sit down with George Nwaeke to discuss issues that has to do with politics? So that's totally out of it. They just needed somebody who has a little level of hierarchy in government circle to score cheap but failed political points.
So if you look at what is happening, would you regard Nwaeke as perhaps a very influential person who knows the ins and outs of government in Rivers State, whom you will refer to as issues regarding contract, issues regarding policy and governance pass through his table quite often? Is that right?
Totally correct. George Nwaeke, as former head of service, like the name implies, head of service, it has to do with civil servants purely. So when you say influential, what influence does it wield? His responsibilities were purely to issues related to him that has to do with civil servants. He's not even the chairman of the Civil Service Commission. But as head of civil servants, his responsibilities were purely when and if the governor didn't see fit to immediately certain memos to him, and when he sent memos, in particular as it has to do with civil servants, then he responds or makes his contribution. So it does not wield any particular or influential role that has to do with Rivers State or the governance of Rivers State. But granted, his responsibilities are defined, are clear, and if you be sincere to elect him, he has copies of the memos that have been exchanged between him and the governor of Rivers State from when he became civil servant. So he will be able to outline where he has played outstanding or crucial role as it has to do with governance.
Well, if you like to say the way you portrayed it, so it doesn't, in an unofficial capacity, visits that you are aware of, because you are perhaps one of the closest person or an ally to Governor Fubara. To your knowledge, are there moments where Mr. Nwaeke has been, in an unofficial capacity, visited the home or the residence of the governor to carry out any official duty or to see the governor, and that you three were there together? Can you remember any of those instances?
There is none. Let me give you instances. There are several instances where anyone working with the governor or Mr. President, as long as you have an appointment, even those who don't have appointments, now you have a relationship with the governor or anybody in government, can visit unofficially. Take, for instance, George Nwaeke's daughter got married last year. He visited me, gave me the card, and I attended. He visited the governor, gave him the invitation card. He visited several others. That's one of the instances on unofficial visit. So are other several visits that can occur. So you can send the governor a message to say, I want to see you, I have issues with my family, I need you to help me, and the governor can grant you this. But George Nwaeke has never, it's not even in the protocol list of those who can have uninterrupted access to the governor. So I wonder when
are there moments where I don't know how you keep track of the visitation and an official visit of the governor to the governor by any of government officials? Are there records to keep track or to say this was the last time Dr. Nwaeke saw the governor, Fubara?
Yes. The records are in government house. In fact, the security clearance of government house, which I superintend or supervise are with the DSS. I challenge Judge Nwaeke to mention from the 29th, like he said, he claimed, to other dates where he visited government house, either at odd hours, different, without prior clearance from the DSS, to say that he discussed with the governor. Let me show you records. Or let us engage.
I just wanted to let our viewers understand the relationship as established, because in the inference that one could pick in Dr. Nwaeke's submission is as to the fact that he inferred that there was some cordiality in terms of working relationship and some unofficial relationship between yourself, himself, and the governor. But let's take the allegations one after the other, because these allegations are heavy, relating to arson, relating to issues that one will find very, very disturbing. Let me take it one after the other. I'll play the tape again of the allegations of arson that you masterminded alongside, in collusion with Governor Fubara. That is what he alleges. Let me play it to our viewers to understand or listen. This is the point where he alleged that the demolition and the arson on the State of Assembly was masterminded by yourself and Governor Fubara. Take a listen, everyone.
Not sacked. Neither was I pressured to resign. I did so willingly from the depth of my heart. However, as an insider and a key player in the administration, and by my position, who worked closely with the suspended governor, it would be unfair for me to keep mute. It all started with the State House of Assembly, where the governor, Sir Fubara, directed his chief of staff to burn down the assembly in a way to avert the suspected impeachment. That evening, Edison was in government house with many of his boys, including the former chairman of Obiakpo, one Mr. Chijoke Ihunwo. I was there with them when a bag of money was handed over to Edison for that operation, though I did not actually know what it was meant for or the amount inside. I want to tell Rivers people today, the House Assembly was complex. In Moscow Road was clearly brought down by the door of Edison and some of his cohorts.
He landed to say under the instruction of Governor Fubara. Now, let me allow you to respond to this. Why, based on the allegations, why would you do such a thing, Honorable Ehie?
Well, I will not join issues completely with Mr. Judge Nwaeke, because I've already instructed my lawyers to file issues of criminal libel against Judge Nwaeke, and I hope he's very prepared to come and substantiate this claim and these allegations, if it were. But just to buttress a little light, you know, because we're in the process of making peace, and Mr. President has already intervened, the father of the nation, who we respect very much. And mind you, this interview, I'm not holding brief for my principal, the governor of Rivers State, elected by Rivers people. But it's very important to clarify that I was not, I had no hand, that was a part of the burning down of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Like everyone else, I woke up in the early hours of 30th of October 2023 to hear of the burning down of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And it's unfortunate that Judge Nwaeke, to satisfy his hunger for emergency riches at his age, having served over 35 years, can be bullied into making such allegations. And clearly to note that the world has seen that George Nwaeke was not speaking from his right frame of mind. You can see that immediately after his interview, moments later, we watched where his wife, who supposedly should be the closest person to him, was interviewed not by phone but by channels, your station. She was crying and mentioned names, including Dr. Harry Ogiri from Abuja, a local government area of Rivers State, who has been his longtime friend, as those who called him over. Harry Ogiri is the leader of that local government in the FCT minister's camp, political camp. And of course, if you watch that video, the amateur video and subsequent videos that came up from other stations, you see where voices were coming up from the background. And you can ask your friends from River State who are from a Chi extraction. You would hear those who were telling George Nwaeke from the background, read from the script that we have given you verbatim. Say it as it is. That's a native interpretation of it. And, it brings us to the fact that last week, I have everything I tell you here, I have evidence. And you see, that is why they have fought so hard to see if they can apprehend me. But I don't go anywhere. I'm always at home. So if you want to apprehend me, kidnap me, you have to come to my house. So I have evidence. One, Kelechi Ogu, who was my colleague at the assembly, a member of the representatives, we intercepted a message he sent to a WhatsApp platform. Voice notes and messages. Before he could delete it, we intercepted, where he was instructed that ensure you implicate Edison Ehie in that arrangement. It's here on my phone. So it's the same thing that happened to George Nwaeke. If you see, George Nwaeke resigned on Monday, the 24th of March. But from Tuesday, you can see the messages, which I shared. This is my phone, you can see the messages I shared, where George Nwaeke was appealing that he should not be abandoned, that he has resigned because of his conscience. This is his phone number. This is George Nwaeke's phone number. This is his phone number, George Nwaeke.
Did he send this message to?
Yeah, he said, yes, he sent it by. So if we go, when it gets to the time where we need to sit down in this criminal libel, he cannot deny, because this is this registered phone number known and got.
Send it to.
Everybody has it.
Who did he send it to?
This is it. He sent to me.
What was he
This
saying?
Is his phone.
So was he pleading for something, or what exactly
Yes,
is the content?
He was appealing that the governor should give him money, that in fact he's packing out for the official residence. He doesn't have a house within town to live. He doesn't have money, and that he should not be abandoned. Look at it. Now, yesterday, he deleted some, not knowing that I had already munched the message which I shared online.
So let me understand this timeline, Honorable. So he resigned on Monday. When was it that he sent this message?
He resigned on Monday. On Monday, he resigned. From that Monday, he started sending messages. See, tell me when to see you tomorrow. I sincerely want to see you. I have some smart and actionable ideas we need to work on to regule the hands of these vandals of our state. This is for George Nwaeke.
So when this happened,
I have printed these messages and they have been certified.
Now,
because these people, they can do anything to frustrate you.
Now, what do you think was going on? If I send this message to you, perhaps you are thinking that it's trying to reach out to the governor and be on the side of the governor. So what happened so rapidly between Monday and Friday that it came out alleging raising all of those claims?
The problem is that of contentment.
How much did the governor give him? How much did the governor give him after that Monday?
George Wike is not a contented man. So he just feels that, I have left this position. What will I be doing now? Who will help me? How will I survive? You see where he told me that his basic salary was less than 500,000. So that's why Nigerians are asking, how did you lodge in Transcorp? It's a very clear thing. You see where immediately that same day, his picture emerged with Kelechi Wogu, all of them. Because it is obvious that these are people who...
How much, Honorable, how much did the governor give him after that Monday?
The governor wouldn't have given him money because he resigned according to his messages and what he told everybody. He resigned voluntarily, that he couldn't serve in a government that Governor Siminala Ifora was not the governor. But because he was complaining of hunger, rising from the fact that he was not contented, he had to reach out, and they reached out to him. He betrayed his conscience. He betrayed his family. He betrayed his children.
Did the governor respond to him at all? Or is it because the governor did not respond to him, that is why he switched side?
Well, I've told you that the summary is about contentment. He was not contented. He felt that he needed to own the world. This is the problem. So when they reach out to you and you lack contentment, you will fall prey. He is not the first. He will not be the last.
Let me ask you quickly, and this is also concerning, though, because the question I asked that led to this is the allegation that you are involved, and you have not been able to clarify the extent of your involvement, or whether or not you are not involved in the arson or the demolition of the State House of Assembly complex. Because according to him, he said bags of money were given out for your boys, according to him, to carry out the demolition. And he said that there was also another person there, which means that there are witnesses to this matter. Now, there is also a very popular opinion out there that the governor was involved in the demolition of the State House of Assembly. And this is from the president on the state of emergency speech. And I'll read what the president, Bola Tinubu, said. He said, quote, "Also, it is public knowledge that the governor of Rivers State, for unjustifiable reasons, demolished the House of Assembly of the state as far back as the 13th of December 2023, and has up till now, 14 months later, after not rebuilt it." End of quote. How do you defend this? The monies, your boys that he said, and the witnesses. Can you defend yourself on that?
I'm sure you watched days ago when the administrator in company of the resigned head of service, George Wike, visited the House of Assembly complex, where the administrator himself, Rear Ibas retired, confirmed that the job is 80% completed and the contractor has been completely paid. So funding is not an issue. So this is an issue of misinformation. Anybody who has given brief decided to misinform the federal government. But we are not joining issue with Mr. President because he's part of the nation, and we believe in that in his wisdom, he has taken steps and actions that are in the best interest of Rivers State, Rivers people, and Nigerians. But for those who are around and who have been sending wrong information and updates. That being said, you asked an earlier question about the demolition of the House of Assembly. And I've said categorically that I have no hand, I was not privy, no information. I woke up in the early hours of 30th of October to hear that the assembly had been demolished. But it's important to clarify events leading to that date. You recall that I was leader of the 10th Rivers State Assembly under Martin and Mewuli as speaker. In the 9th Assembly, I was in the 8th Assembly, I was at the 9th Assembly and also the 10th Assembly. The 9th Assembly, I was the Deputy Speaker of the Rivers House Assembly, while Martin Amele was the leader of the House. And so we have built this relationship, and the House has a procedure guided by the Constitution and the standing order. So we had finished screening commissioners on Thursday, when we adjourned to a later date. So everyone went home. Peacefully, happily celebrated their constituents who had made the list. So it was not an issue. 30th, let me state it clearly, 30th October. We didn't adjourn to 30th October after we had finished sitting on Thursday the previous week. So, and let me also make a very crystal point. In the House of Assembly, after every sitting, whether they're sitting or not, after every working day. Now, after every working day, there is usually the security under the authority of Mr. Speaker. So when it is 6 p.m., nobody has access to the House of Assembly complex except Mr. Speaker on any emergency. Nobody. Meanwhile, the 29th of October was on a Sunday. So, if you say the assembly was burned down on a Sunday, go through the issues that were raised that day. In the case filed before Honorable Justice Aproko, before the Honorable Justice Obile, Federal High Court, and before the Federal High Court in Abuja, Honorable Justice Emeka Wite, we had over 10 witnesses, including men of the Nigerian police, ASP, inspector, and other ranking police officers, including civil officer, security agents that were at the gate. They stated clearly in their witness statement of oath that they saw the convoy of the speaker driving. That is why they allowed him access in the night of 29th of October. So it was very clear. Go and read through their witness statement that they allowed that night, Sunday, not even a working day, access. Don't forget, the House of Assembly is sharing proximity, almost opposite the Nigerian police headquarters, the River State, Moscow Road. So it is not possible to perpetrate any offense by way of gangsterism or anything. That's why they said that it was a convoy of the speaker. Who was the speaker? That's at October 29th. So that is why they opened the door, the gate, the entrance gate, and he drove in with his
Honorable Ehie,
it is only the speaker that has access to the River State House of Assembly
Amawule,
after working hours.
What exactly are you alleging? That Honorable Amawule should be asked a question? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because he was the speaker after then. He was the one and the only one who has access, whether in the wee hours, not to talk of a weekend. Once it is over 6 p.m., there is only one person who, for emergency, can access the Rivers House Assembly complex. It is the speaker, being the presiding officer. I'm the deputy speaker, and it is there.
Let me ask, you're a lawyer, and you perhaps understand the implication when there is a judicial notice of a matter. The issue as relating to demolition of the House of Assembly had been mentioned by the Supreme Court. So there is a judicial notice, and it is being perceived that act was under the supervision, or it was done with the knowledge of Governor Fubara. As a lawyer, what is the implication of that? And the president also mentioned it.
Well, as a lawyer, with the greatest respect to our noble profession, I will not join issues with the Supreme Court. But I'm trying to give you the elementary fact of what happened during this season. Do not forget that the former governor, being the FCT minister today, while inaugurating or commissioning the current residence of the speaker in the Ninth Assembly, mentioned his life there. I'll send you the video. That the House of Assembly complex has become inhabitable. It has no longer become conducive to work and do business as members of the assembly. So, what happened after then? It was even an appeal from members of the assembly, staff of the assembly, that this place is no longer conducive for us to do the business of lawmaking. So that was not even the issue. But when that place was burnt down by arsonists, those who I cannot say are responsible because I'm not a law enforcement agent, neither am I the courts of law. The only thing I hold dear to my heart is that several courts of competent decision has ruled and given judgment that the evidences adduced holds me to nothing as to the burden of the House of Assembly.
All right. So, Honorable, let's take a pause. Just for a moment, let's take a pause. There are heavier allegations being laid as to Mr. Nwaeke as alleged as relating to militants and the busting of pipelines and the plans to cause mayhem in the state, allegations of the governor colluding with or having plans, political plans with the governor of Bauchi State, and the reasons for all of what is happening in Rivers State. And some of these I would like to allow you to explain. And also there are those who want to know, what is the real reason behind you resigning as a House member and the Speaker and becoming the Chief of Staff? This is the very first time that you are speaking in public. Nigerians would like to know. That's going to be after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone. Chief of Staff to Governor Simfobara of Rivers State, Honorable Edison Ehie, who is also the former Speaker of the House of Assembly, has been speaking with us. We're now at the home stretch and finalizing, wrapping up the conversation with him in respect to some of the things that Dr. Nwaeke, who is the man who will resign as the head of service in Rivers State, the allegations that he has made. Thank you so much, Honorable Ehie, for your time tonight. Quickly, just in a few seconds, if you may respond to it, there are those who will think in the burning or the demolition or the arson that happened in the State of Assembly, which politically speaking, there are those who say, oh, it's a political gimmick, albeit an extreme one, to stop an impeachment process. Because there are those who believe that who benefits if the house was burned down? The same process that was being anticipated before the 28th and 29th eventually happened when the 27 members sat on the 31st. So the question is that the accusing finger rightly point that who benefits, I mean, at a legal saying will be that who benefits when this kind of act happens? People will say it's going to be you and your principal.
Because of the network situation here, I was not able to comprehend the finality of a question. What do you want me to respond to, please? I'm
saying that in the burning and the demolition of the assembly, there are those who believe that it benefits Governor Simfobara. I don't know if you can hear me. There are those who say it benefited Governor Simfobara because the impeachment process anticipated before the 30th, eventually, that sitting happened with the 27 members who sat on the 31st.
It's better now, just so I can know what I'm responding to.
So the question again, the issue of who benefits if the House of Assembly is demolished, right? The accusing finger points at your principal, Governor Simfobara, that it will have delayed or stopped the impeachment process since the complex was brought down, and they cannot see it outside of what has been tagged legally as a complex or the House of Assembly.
It's horrible. But I think that one question you have not asked should be, who benefits from the asset? Very critical question. Who benefits from the asset?
Who does?
Take your time.
Who does?
And there's something you have not asked. Who? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Go ahead. The same question I asked you is what you are repeated that you have shot back at me. Who benefits from the act in the bringing down of the assembly? Who? There are those who believe that it's your principal, Governor Fubara.
You say it's who?
All right. Let's move away from that question. Let me ask you, is there a reason why Governor Fubara decided not to take the state of emergency matter to court? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Honorable? Is there a reason, Honorable, that Governor Fubara didn't legally take the matter, of the state of emergency as its suspension up in court? His colleague governors had done that in the PDP.
The governor is a man of peace, and he believes in
Go ahead.
Well, there are various ways towards crisis resolution. It's either you go to court or alternative is to resolution. The governor is wisdom and as a man of peace decided to pursue the path of conflict resolution and mediation. He agrees with Mr. President and the father of the nation that there should be all parties sitting together to resolve this issue. If it were not that, there are things I would have mentioned here for you to know the elementary cause of this crisis. And you know, everything I mentioned, I show you evidence. I would have also opened my phone to show you on the beginning of October 2023, where they had approached me with a bribe of 5 billion naira. It's there on my phone. It's here. My WhatsApp, I'll open it to show you. And that money was to be passed to me through Honorable. But I'll leave that for now. Because we are in the path of peace.
What the money is supposed to be for?
What is right?
Is the money supposed? What was the money supposed to be for? The 5 billion.
That lead us to this stage where we are. But I agree with His Excellency as my principal. They have decided to pursue the path of peace for us to have a harmonious solution of this situation for all parties to have a stable government in Rivers State, for Rivers people to enjoy the government they put in.
What was the money they were offering you, the 5 billion? What was it supposed, what was it meant for? I don't know if you can hear me. But okay, let me go to another question if you hear this one.
But impeachment, it is better. It's here. It's here. I have the record and I printed it and distributed it. In case, in the evil machination, they are trying to attack me or kill me. I already have a wife, a son, and a daughter. And I told you years ago that I am meant to fear. They know.
So now, let me again quickly, because we're getting out of time, and it's unfortunate the glitch that we're experiencing technically. But let me ask you, former Governor Rotimi Amechi says that whatever that is going on between Governor Fubara and in Rivers State and former Governor Nwaeke is about money sharing. Is that a fact?
now holding brief for the governor. So I won't answer that. I agree with that. I'm not holding brief for him. The governor, the issue I know basically is that the governor values his dignity so much, and they will not allow anyone to take that position or not.
My final question to you, because it does look like there is a slag in the there is a delay in communication. My final question would be: you've said that there is a peace path that is being considered. What exactly is this? Has the governor reached out to President Tinubu, or what exactly? Can you explain what this means? We are totally out of time. If you can do that quickly for us.
President Tinubu is the father of the nation, and the governor holds him in high regard. Yesterday was our president and there
Here, Chief of Staff to Governor Sim Fubara. Thank you so much for your time tonight on the program. Well, that's how far we can go on the program tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Nwaeke. God bless Nigeria.